In today's lesson, we discussed the 6/4 polyrhythm and its use in jazz comping. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining me on another drum lesson. Today, we're going to talk about playing the 6/4, also known as 3/2 polyrhythm in jazz drumming, more specifically in jazz comping. So, what is a polyrhythm? So today, we're going to have 4 quarter notes going against 2 groups of quarter note triplets, or 6 total notes in the left hand against 4 quarter notes in the right hand. So what is the purpose of working on this stuff? Well, number one, it expands our vocabulary for comping ideas, okay? So the more vocabulary we have, the more we can communicate with other musicians that we're playing with. And number two, this is just a great coordination exercise to free up your limbs, and you can apply this to any style of music. So if you're a rock drummer, you can work on these exercises, and it's going to help you with your rock drumming, with your funk drumming, with your Latin drumming, and so on and so on. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get some quarter notes happening in the ride cymbal. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm going to play quarter note triplets in the left hand. In order to space these notes out correctly, I'm going to count 8th note triplets, okay? I'm going to subdivide 8th note triplets. Check it out. 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a, 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a. So let's go back to the ride and play quarter notes, but count 8th note triplets. 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my left hand. 1 is a, 2 is a, 3 is a, 4 is a, 1, a, 2 is, 3, a, 4 is, 1, a, 2 is, 3, a, 4 is. Okay? And that's your basic 6/4 or 4/6 polyrhythm. Okay? Let's try that a little faster. A little faster. Okay, so that's the first step. Let's get a great handle on the polyrhythm with simple 4 quarter notes against the 2 groupings of quarter note triplets, or a total of 6 quarter notes in the left hand. Okay, the next step as we want to apply this to jazz is we're going to change this from quarters to our jazz ride pattern. Okay, so let's go back to, here we go. Add the hi-hat, 2 and 4. Feather. Let's try that a little faster. Okay, so now let's expand on this 6/4 polyrhythm idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into something I call comp 3s. So we're simply going to comp 3 on the snare, and then I'm going to move to the high tom, and then the floor tom, back to the high tom, and back to the snare. So let's get our jazz ride and hats going. 3 on each drum. So I'm simply playing a quarter note triplet on each drum, right? 3, 3, 3, 3. Let's figure out how many bars does it take to get back to the snare playing on beat 1. Well, let's check it out. Okay, so I just played 2 bars of time. So that's a 2-bar phrase. It takes 2 complete measures for the snare to get back on beat 1. Very important that you don't lose yourself in the phrase. Okay, let's try it a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 Okay, so now we're going to stay with comp 3s, but I'm going to do the comping. 3 on the snare, 3 in the kick. Check it out. Okay, so the last step with the comp 3 exercise is let's add the tom-toms back in. Here we go. Notice on that exercise, it took me 4 complete measures until the snare came back on beat 1, so we call that a 4-bar phrase. Let's try it a little faster. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the most difficult part of this lesson. This is where we comp 2s, meaning I'm going to play 2 notes of each quarter note triplet on a drum and then immediately move to another sound source. So it's going to play tricks with your ear, so you want to make sure you never lose sight of where you are in the rhythm. Check this out. And we're back to the snare. How many measures did that take? Let's figure it out. So 4 complete measures to get the snare back on beat 1. So we'll think of this as a 4-bar phrase. Let's try it a little faster. Okay, like I said, it doesn't feel like triplets anymore because we're moving it every 2 notes, so it feels like a whole nother grouping. Okay, so now we're going to do the groups of 2 or the comp 2s between the snare and the kick drum. Okay, now we're going to reinsert the tom-toms. Here we go. Now, in that combination, it took 8 measures to get the snare back on 1. So we're going to call that an 8-bar phrase. Let's try it a little faster. All right. And the last segment of the lesson brings us to what I call comp 1s. So here, we're going to play 1 note of the quarter note triplet on a sound source and immediately go to another and back and forth. So we're going to start between the snare and the kick. Let's try that a little faster. Okay, now we're going to move it between the snare and the toms. Let's try that a little faster. And finally, we're going to reinsert the toms and play this between the snare, kick, and the toms. Here we go. Let's try this a little faster. All right, so as I said before, if you're a jazz drummer, this is going to help you immensely with your coordination and expanding your comp vocabulary. If you're not a jazz drummer, please try checking these out because at some point, these concepts will work their way into whatever it is you're playing, whatever genre of music, whatever style, and it's only going to benefit you. So please give it a chance, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys all on the next one. Take it easy.